Okay, Act 4, Scene 1. This act only has 3 scenes: a large one, a medium one, and a humongous one. This is the large one. As you can see, it starts with the witches, which means we're going to have a good time. Things in this play happen in threes. Three is a magical number. This is the third appearance of the witch, because the earlier one with Hecate probably wasn't in the original text because it just doesn't fit. But this is original. What it's gonna start with, you've heard that before probably. I remember when I read this when I was in high school, I thought, oh, that's Halloween. That's from Halloween. No, it's right from Macbeth. So here we go.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed. Thrice, and once the head's pig whine.
Harpier cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad that under cold stone days and nights has 31 sweltered venom sleeping got. Boil thou first i' the charmed pot.
Charmed pot. That's they're casting a spell. They have a pot, a cauldron, like that witches have, right in front of them. They're going to cast a spell with it. And most of what's about to happen is them just adding ingredients. So if you've ever read Harry Potter and potions class in Harry Potter, something like that. Or if you play like fantasy video games, you need to make a potion. It's always a lot of weird ingredients. It's like that. There's pretty much no figurative happening here because that's all literally what they're throwing in. There might be some syntaxes, but this is largely just kind of fun.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of a fenny snake in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blindworm's sting, lizard snake and howlet's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble.
Yeah, just animal ingredients.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, mow and gulf of the ravined salt sea shark. Root of hemlock digged to the dark, liver of blaspheming Jew, gall of goat and slips of yew slivered in the moon's eclipse. Nose of Turk and Tartar's lips, finger of birth-strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab. Make the gruel thick and slab. Add thereto a tiger's children for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Okay, so this time there's some weird stuff in here. So first you'll see liver of blaspheming Jew, nose of Turk, Tartar's lips. Now, this is not for the purposes of racism, but it totally is religious-ism. These are non-Christians. So these are things that go into spells to make evil. And then there's one here at the end, which is disturbing. Finger of a birth-strangled babe. A baby that was strangled during birth, that died in birth. Ditch delivered by a drab. A drab is a prostitute. Oh, the prostitute mother delivered her baby into the ditch. Yeah, that's disturbing. Let's continue.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
Okay, so now, as you can see, Hecate is going to enter. There's a very good chance, like the earlier scenes, that this didn't really, this probably wasn't in the original text. It just doesn't really fit. The theme of it doesn't fit. I like the words, though. And then they're going to play a song. So just assume this probably doesn't happen in the original text. This almost always gets cut out of productions. But here we go.
your pains, and everyone shall share the gains. And now about the cauldron sing like elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in.
So I like that. And now about the cauldron sing like elves and fairies in a ring. Elves and fairies, fantastic creatures of the forest, singing in the forest. And then they're going to sing a song which is very uncharacteristic of this play, so this is probably added. The audio's going to do it for like 30 seconds. It's weird. Just deal with it because it's too much effort to try to fast forward and find the exact spot.
Round, around, around, about, about. All will come running in, all good, keep out. All will come running in, all good, keep out.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
Now those lines, those are Shakespeare's lines. And those are some of the best lines in the play. By the pricking of my thumbs. I have like an itch on the back of my thumbs. I sense something. I feel something. Then she says, and this is a syntax, something wicked this way comes. Something wicked comes this way. So it's like they felt Macbeth. We know it's Macbeth. They felt him through the force. Oh, there's something that's wicked, even compared to us. Now, wicked means evil, but not just evil, like very evil. He has become so evil that they can feel him, his presence. And then enter Macbeth.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is't you do?
A deed without a name.
I like that. A deed without a name. We're doing something unspeakable. At least you humans don't have a name for it. And then Macbeth is going to ask them, or summon them, to tell him stuff.
I conjure you, by that which you profess, howe'er you come to know it, answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though the yeasty waves confound and swallow navigation up, though bladed corn be lodged, and trees blown down, though castles topple on their warders' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to their foundations, though the treasure of nature's germains tumble altogether, even till destruction sicken, answer me to what I ask you.
All right, it's almost like a checklist. All right, I conjure you. And I don't care if all these things happen because of what I ask you. So he's like asking them to answer his questions, and he doesn't care what has to be sacrificed for it. And let's look at the list of things. Untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, so storms. Through the yeasty waves, yeast is bubbly like in beer, so like tidal waves and stuff like that. Confound and swallow up navigation, so tempest storms. Bladed corns be lodged and trees blown down, so plants die. Castles topple, castles fall. Palaces and pyramids, so giant buildings slope down, they fall too. Nature's germs tumble altogether. Germans, like to germinate, all the plants die, even till destruction sicken, even till the end of everything. Answer me. So he's summoning them.
Speak.
We'll answer.
Say if thou hadst rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call 'em. Let me see 'em.
All right, so do you want us to tell you, or do you want our masters, whoever our masters are? They turn out to be spirits. So they got to add some new stuff into the cauldron to up the power of the magic.
Pour in 1 sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 farrow. Grease that's sweating from the murderer's gibbet, throw into the flame.
So you remember how the ingredients were getting more terrible? Well, now it's pretty terrible, too. Pour in sow's blood. A sow is a mother pig that hath eaten her 9 farrow, her 9 piglets. Oh, so a cannibal mother pig. Give her some of her blood. And grease that's sweating from the murderer's gibbet. Gibbet is neck. So a murderer that's been hanged, the grease that came out of the skin that's on the noose, throw some of that into it. Ew.
Come high or low, thyself and office deftly show.
So it's an apparition, like a ghost or a spirit or something, a vision. It's an armed head, a head in armor.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Hear his speech, but say thou not. Hear his speech, but say you not. Nothing. But don't say anything. Meaning, tell him things, but do not make it anything he can understand. So make it so it's nothing to him, or nothing to his brain.
Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me. Enough.
Whate'er thou art for thy good caution. Thanks. Thou'st heart my fear aright. But one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Okay, so let's look at that. Macbeth. Remember, things happen in threes. 3 is a powerful holy number, or magical number. Beware Macduff. So if you remember Macduff, he's one of the kind of the generic lords. He was there when Duncan was killed. He didn't go to Macbeth's coronation feast. Beware the Thane of Fife. That's his title. He's the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me, enough. Macbeth tries to ask him something else, but nope, he won't be commanded. Here's another, more potent, more powerful. So there's a second apparition. It's a bloody child. Okay, this could be Fleance. Who knows?
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
And I 3 ears I'd hear thee.
Be bloody bold and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man. For none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder.
Okay, Macbeth. Again, 3s. So here's this new prediction, this new prophecy, whatever. Be bloody, bold, and resolute. So be bold, like act boldly. For none of woman born shall harm Macbeth. For none of woman born shall harm Macbeth. No one born of a woman shall harm you. No one born of a woman? What does that mean? I don't know. Isn't everyone born of a woman? That's... Okay. Vague. And then he says, well, then live, Macduff. Hey, Macduff, you should live. What need I fear of thee? What need do I have to fear you? You're born of woman. I have no reason to fear you. But I'll make assurance. I'll double check to make sure things are taken care of. Thou shalt not live. You won't live. So I can tell my own lies and sleep in spite of thunder. So I could sleep without fear. And then there's a third one. Remember, things happen in 3s. Third apparition, a child crowned. Crowned is with a crown on. With a tree in his hand, whatever that means.
What is this? That rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty.
the round and top of sovereignty, a crown.
Listen, but speak not to it. Be lion-mettled, proud and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be, until great Burnham Wood, to high Dunsinane Hill, shall come against him.
Be lion mettled. Let your mettle be like a lion. So be brave like a lion. Take no care who chafes, who frets, who conspires are. Don't care about who's going against you. Macbeth shall never vanquished be. You'll never be vanquished, so it's syntax. Until great Burnham Wood, that's a forest, to high Dunsinane Hill, which is a location, shall come against him. What does that mean? Until this forest comes to this place, you have no reason to be afraid. Now, this is not really a fantasy world that has, like, talking tree people. So, I don't know what that could mean. And let's continue.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound roots? Sweet boatman's good.
Yeah, trees can't unfix their earthbound roots, so I'm good. I'm fine.
Rebellious dead, rise never till the wood of Burnham rise, and our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom.
So I'll pay, I shall live the lease of nature. The lease of nature is old age. Hey, you know what? No one's going to kill me. I'll live to old age. If, trees can't move and no one born of woman can kill me, then I'm good. I'll just die of natural causes.
Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Issue is someone's children and their descendants. Will Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know.
Okay, so here, to me, this is a great moment for Macbeth. I will be satisfied. No, I'm going to get what I want. Deny me this. If you deny this to me, an eternal curse will fall on you. So who is Macbeth to curse the witches? So remember, they're from characters of Norse mythology. There's an idea in Norse mythology where if someone amasses too much power, the confines of fate and destiny and chance may not work on them. So you can rise above fate, destiny, chance, luck by amassing power or magic or things like that. The rules don't apply to you anymore. It's kind of like how we view money. If you have the superpower of money, there's things that just don't apply to you anymore. Where am I going to go to college? It doesn't matter. I can pay for it wherever you want to. Am I going to get a house in a good neighborhood? Yeah, you have the superpower of money. You never have to be hungry. There's an issue. You can hire a high-powered attorney. Like, the superpower of money makes things way easier. It's kind of like this. He's become so powerful that he can cast curses on witches, these characters who have more power than him. It's almost like the power he's amassed has made them as powerful as them, where he could curse them. Okay, let's continue. I think that's cool.
Why sinks that cauldron? And what noise is this?
Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Okay, so time for me to insert some context. Now, Shakespeare wrote this play in part to get in the good graces of the new King of England, King James I. So the previous queen had died, there's a new king, and Shakespeare wanted to get on his good side. So he wrote this play almost in a way as partially propaganda for the new king. So, for example, the new king is descended from Banquo, the historical Banquo. He was a real character in history. The king is that new king of England was descended from him. So Macbeth kind of rewrites things and make Banquo. In the original text, Banquo was a co-conspirator with Macbeth. Well, here he's just like the nice guy that gets taken advantage of. So, so he kind of rewrites this almost to suck up to the new king, and that's totally here in this scene, or this part of the scene. So let's look. What does he see now? A show of 8 kings, and the 8th king with a glass is a mirror, in his hand, and Banquo last. Banquo's at the end of the line.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down thy crown to sear mine eyeballs.
Your crown sears my eyeballs, it burns my eyeballs. That's probably an exaggeration.
And thy hair, thou other gold-bound brow, is like the first, a third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? A fourth, start eyes, what? Will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet, a 7th, I'll see no more. Ah, and yet the 8th appears, who bears a glass which shows me many more. And some I see that 2-fold balls and treble scepters carry. Ah, horrible sight. Now I see 'tis true, for the blood-bolted Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his.
Okay, so he just sees the line of kings, and they all kind of look the same. Will that line stretch out to the crack of doom? The crack of doom, that's Judgment Day. So will this line of kings stretch out until the end of time? The 8th appears and shows me a glass, a mirror. When I look in the mirror, I see way more kings. So he's saying that, Banquo's line, who's now the current king of England, will be very fruitful. It's like sucking up.
What? Is this so?
Now, this right here, this might be added too. This probably is added, like, by the same person that added Hecate.
All this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer we up his sprites, and show the best of our delights. I'll charm the air to give a sound, while you perform your antic round, that this great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome pay.
So, what are they going to do? Stands Macbeth thus amazed. You stand amazedly. Come, sisters, cheer we up. We will cheer up his sprites, his spirit, and show the best of our delights. Give a sound, perform your anthem ground. Let's do a dance to make him happy. That's probably sarcasm. And then there's some music. Remember, this probably wasn't in the original text, and this normally gets cut. But here we go.
Where are they? Gone. Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without them.
They're gone? Oh, well, curse them. Let this day be cursed. Then enter Lennox. So if you remember, Lennox is, again, one of the, like, generic lords. Lennox, Macduff, Ross, Angus are all kind of interchangeable. And you get kind of the vibe that he's been standing out there the whole time.
What's your grace as well?
So are you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
So 2 syntaxes by Macbeth. Saw you the weird sisters? You saw the weird sisters? Came they not by you? They didn't come by you? No, my lord. Because, they just disappear because they're witches.
Infected by the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was't came by?
And then he switches. Oh, I heard horses. Who came by? Infected be the air. The air is infected. There's a syntax there. And he realizes, like, oh, you hear me talking about witches. Never mind. What's going on?
2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England.
Aye, my good lord.
Macduff has fled to England. Remember, the witches just told us to be afraid of him, so he is gone to England. That, if you remember correctly, is where Malcolm, the king's oldest son, fled right after the king was murdered.
Thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is o'ertook, unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done.
Okay, from this moment, the very firstlings of my heart, the first things in my heart, shall be the firstlings of my hand, the first things I do. Even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. So now, when I think something, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to brood, I'm not going to plan, I'm not going to scheme. Whatever comes to my mind, that's what will happen.
Castle of Macduff, I will surprise.
There's the syntax. The castle of Macduff I will surprise. I will surprise the castle of Macduff. He means ambush.
Seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line.
And all the unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. I'm going to kill everyone, so no one is left to fight against me.
No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool.
Yeah, I'll do this before the purpose cools inside of me, before I forget or I calm down or whatever.
But no more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
And then the scene ends. So let's review. What 3 prophecies that Macbeth get? Beware Macduff, he's a Thane of Fife. No man born of woman may harm Macbeth. And until this woods comes to this place, you can't be hurt. All right, pretty good. See you next scene.